Good morning Year 1. It is Tuesday the 23rd of February today, and this is your video if you have the Year 1 Comprehension Workbook, okay? This one here, and today we are going to be working on page number 2. But as always, you won't need your workbook just yet, but you will need to begin with your yellow lined workbook. So if you haven't got your workbooks and your pencils, then pause the board now and go and get those so that you can make sure that you're ready for a super comprehension lesson. Okay? Now, today we are going to start in our yellow lined workbooks, and we are going to look at our high frequency words, okay? And high frequency words are words that we read all the time in our books, okay? So if we pick up a book, the high frequency words are words that we will sometimes hear all the time, and we will read them all the time. So the more we read them, the more we remember them and practice them. And that's why it's really important to practice them a little bit like tricky words, so that we know that when we are reading it will help us to get quicker. And remember, that word means fluency, okay? So it will help us to become quicker readers. So, some high frequency words are tricky words. So today, you might already see some words that you know on the board. Now, some we can chop and blend, but others we can't. So they are the tricky words, aren't they? But high frequency words we should be able to know by looking at them. And they are like our tricky words, aren't they? So we're going to practice 6 different high frequency words today. Now I'm going to remove a square off the board each time, reveal our high frequency word, and then we are going to write it and practice it in our yellow lined books, okay? So we will do the first one together to show you exactly what I mean. So let's reveal our first high frequency word of the week. Now this one is a tricky word as well. Does anybody know what this tricky word is? Shout it out for me. It is the tricky word said. Well done. And remember, we can't chop it or blend it, we just have to know it. And that's why it's a high frequency word, because we see this word lots of times when we are reading, okay? So, we know that we need to now practice the word said. So what we are going to do is we are going to get our yellow workbooks, okay? I'm going to open mine, and you can see already that I have written the date and I've underlined it. So I am ready to begin my work, and I would like you to write the date at the top of your work too. And this shows me that you have got excellent presentation skills and that you are ready to learn, okay? So it is Tuesday the 23rd of February and the year is 2021. And once you've done that, then you're going to leave a line and we're going to write our high frequency word said, okay? So it's a s, a, I, d. Okay, now I'm really practicing making sure that the top of my d goes all the way to the top of the line, because it is my tall letter, isn't it? So it touches the line at the top. Now once I've written it, I'm going to fill my line, okay, with the word said, leaving a finger space between each one. And that's going to help me remember how to write it, but also how to read it. And it's all about practice. So let's do it together. Finger space. And I'm going to start here, okay? S, a, I, d. Okay, finger space. And again. Now what I don't want to see is, as we get further along the line, our writing becomes bigger and it becomes messier. Okay, every word needs to look the same and we need to practice our handwriting on every word. So, once you've done your words now, you're going to go on to the next line for every high frequency word that we look at today. And by the end, you will have 6 lines of high frequency words and you will have warmed up your brains and you'll be ready to rock and roll, okay? So, let's then have a look at our second high frequency word of the week. we ready? Let's move the square out of the way. Okay, can you read it? Do you know it by sight already? If you do, shout it out for me. And if not, this one we can chop and blend, but this word we see in every book that you will ever read, that's a guarantee. And it is the word and. And it is one of the most used words in text. That means people write it a lot. They write it all of the time. And. Okay, and we've been using and, haven't we, in some of our phonics sentences? So we should know by looking what this word is. But if you don't, it's and a d. And our high frequency word is and. So again, into your yellow lined books now, you're going to write it on the line, finger space, and then you're going to do it again all the way along. Brilliant. Okay, if you need to keep pausing whilst you do it, that's fine. It's up to you how you'd like to do this. You could write them one at a time, or you could wait to see them all and then write them. Okay, so let's do number 3. Are we ready? Oh, this one's an easy one. Everybody shout it out. It's only got 2 letters. In. Well done. In. Okay. That's high frequency word number 3. Ready for number 4? Let's go over here. Okay, this is another tricky word. So if you know it already, shout it out for me. Tell your adult at home. Remember, with our tricky words, we can't chop them. We just need to know them, and it's a tricky word, was. Okay, and it's a w, a, and then a s, w, a, s. And it's tricky because normally if we were writing was and we were sounding it, we'd want to put an o in the middle, and we can't do that, remember? We need to make sure that we are spelling it like we read it, and that's why we're going to write them in our yellow lined book. Okay. High frequency word number 5 is another 2-letter word. Can you sound it out? Can you shout it out to me? On. Well done. Okay. So again, back into your yellow line book. On. Oh. Really, really simple. Making sure that our 2 letters are the same height, okay, when we are writing them. Our O and our should be exactly the same height, so as tall as each other. And then the last high frequency word of the week is, oh, we all know this one, it's another tricky word. You. Well done. You are doing a great job, year 1. So, pause now, make sure that you've got your 6 high frequency words practiced and perfected in your yellow line book, and then we can move on to our activity for the day. Super! So, let's have a look then at our learning question. And today's learning question says, can I read and finish the common phrase? Now, if you can remember, we did an activity like this in our workbooks before half term. And can you remember what common phrase meant? Well done. It means something that we say all of the time and something that everybody will know. Okay, so we looked at our sand and mottos, didn't we? Our sand and rock mottos last time, and we knew the answer to those because everybody knows our sand and rock mottos and we say them all the time. But today I've used some different things that we will know, and I've used our wolf from yesterday, so we know what happens in the 3 little pigs, so I know we will be able to finish the common phrase. And then I've also used a nursery rhyme, because in a nursery rhyme the sentences which we say, they are also common phrases, so I know we'll be able to finish them. Now today, because it is comprehension, remember it is all about your reading. So you need to have a real good try at reading the common phrases and the sentences in your workbook and on the board with me. Okay, so adding those sound buttons to help you read them, and you will notice that there are lots of high frequency words, just like we just practiced. So go back to your yellow lined book and think about the high frequency words that we've just written and see if you can remember any of them just by looking without chopping and blending. Have a really good go, and that will help your reading, okay? So let's do the first one together. Are we ready? Now, this word here looks a little bit peculiar to me. That means I'm not quite sure what it is. Now I know that this is I here, don't I? I'm not sure what this is here, but I know that this sound makes the all sound, and I know that they all need to blend together still. So even though it looks a little bit peculiar, a little bit strange, let's try and blend it. I-all, I-all. Okay, and we'll see. It's repeated 3 times in our phrase. I'll, or, huff. I'll huff. And here's our high frequency word. And, well done. I'll huff. And I'll puff. Puff. So now let's go back, read it, help us remember so that we can keep going, okay? I'll huff and I'll puff, high frequency word, and now we know what this is because we've already read it twice. What is it? I'll, well done, and I'll blow, blow, and even if you don't know this sound yet, if you've not moved on to this sound, you will know that that word was going to be blow because we've read the text before and we are already thinking about what the next word might be and looking at our picture to help us. So remember, when you're reading, always look at the words before that you've already read and if there are any pictures to help you, okay? I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house. What is the end word to our phrase? Shout it out. I know you know, year 1. Down. Well done. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Brilliant. So we are going to write the word down at the end of our sentence. So what sounds do I need? Let's chop it up together. D, ow, n. D, ow, down. So I need to start with a D. You're right. And then my sound in the middle, what is it? Ow. Brilliant. D, ow, n. And a full stop at the end. Super job. Shall we have a look at the next one together? Okay. Moving on then. Let's see if we can read this one together, okay? So straight away we've got our tricky word. Shout it out. The mouse. 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 The mouse. We already might know. We've read 2 words and look at our picture to help us. The mouse. Let's see if we're right. Ran. The mouse ran. And here's our high frequency words. Up the. What is the final word? The mouse ran up the clock. Brilliant. Let's chop and blend clock to make sure that we're going to spell it correctly. Clock. Now we've got 2 letter blends there, so let's listen again. Clock. Clock. Okay. So I know that my cl sound is a k and a l. And for my k at the end of clock, I need my k sound that has the 2 letters. Brilliant. The mouse ran up the clock. Well done. Now, before we go to my challenge of the day, I'm going to show you your workbook. So we have just had a look at some common phrases, haven't we? And that's what today you're going to do in your workbook. So you need to turn to page 2 now. And you have got 4 phrases in your workbook to complete. Now, when you send me your work today, I don't just want to see the answer here, okay? Because I know you will be able to write the word independently. But I would like to see you adding sound buttons to your words. And even better, I would love a video of you having a go at chopping and blending these sentences. Because remember, comprehension is all about reading, and I want to hear you read, okay? So you've got 4 there to have a go at, and then I've got a little challenge for you because you're working really hard in your yellow lined books and I know how much you are enjoying them. I have made you a challenge today. So Miss James's challenge of the day is to use your high frequency word to write a super sentence. So thinking back to the high frequency words that we have learned today, there were 6, weren't there? And you've practiced them, so I know that you'll be able to use one of them in a sentence. And I've got some reminders here. Don't forget your capital letter, finger space, full stop, and then read it again to check that it makes sense, okay? So, big thumbs up if you get to this point and you have a really good go at my challenge. I will be really impressed. I can't wait to see your work. Enjoy your Tuesday's activities, and I will see you tomorrow.